Mike's Daily Podcast.
I had a wonderful Wednesday evening where I went to Oakland near Lake Merritt, Grand Avenue, that particular zone of the world, with my lovely lady friend. We ate at a place called Grand Tavern, and it's in like an old house kind of feel to it, old wood.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Old-timey house with cool art and succulents on the walls.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And a fireplace with candles in it. Felt very rock star. And I had a burger. I have wanted a burger for so long it's murder. I know. And I apologize to my friend. That's a cow. How now? So that's what I did. Oh, and I had a beer from Faction.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They are located in Alameda, at the side of the island closest to
Mike's
San Francisco.
Daily
Used to be a
Podcast.
military base.
Yeah!
Military! And then we went home. I not very rested today. But Basil's doing better. Thank you so much. He's going to bark in just a moment. But I did want to say that where's the sizzle? Somebody... Oh, look who just walked in. As I threw out a thought and didn't finish it. What something new on this show. Hello, Mega Masters, Madame Rootabega. Where is the sizzle? Oh, the sizzle. I know where the Rizza is. Wait, who's the guy? I don't know. I don't know rap very well. That's my problem. I should learn rap. Look who else walked in. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, you shouldn't say that you don't know rap. That you don't know rap because you'll offend Floyd.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
Are you offended, Floyd? Yeah, always. Okay. Did you enjoy the legit loop I talked about on the last show? Legit.
And here's today's podcast picture.
How that word is getting thrown around a lot. I know. The podcast picture today is of the wonderful Basil the Boxer, who's going to bark momentarily. And we were at Half Moon Bay. This is part of the pictures I've been posting lately at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Thank you, Basil. And there he's in a Sphinx mode, and I was using him as a pillow. Pillow will be the name of this show, I've just decided. So a couple weeks ago, Mr. Paul McCartney, the godfather of soul. No, wait a minute. That's not who he is. Is he the godfather of pop? He's not the godfather of anything. He was just in a band called the Beatles. And he gets sometimes called Macca or something like that. Growing up, I never, ever, ever bought a Beatles record. Never, ever bought a John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, or Ringo Starr album. Someone just gave me the George Harrison album, Cloud 9, that had, I got my mind set on you. I got my mind. So I listened to that, I remember. But I didn't get inundated with when I got into radio, and I first was doing the top 40 pop format, CHR as we called it, contemporary hit radio. And there was a lot of, I think Paul McCartney had one or two hits in the period that I was, let's see. No, Spies Like Us had already died. That was like his last big hit. And No More Lonely Nights, that was over with. So yeah, I didn't really play any Paul McCartney. It was George Harrison, I Got My Mind Set on You. We played that and Fab. Long time ago when we was Fab. Fab, ooh. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so it wasn't until I got on a classic rock station that I was playing Imagine by John Lennon, playing all the Beatles stuff, playing some of Paul's, Someone's knocking on the door. Somebody's ringing a bell. Somebody's knocking on the door. Do me a favor, open the door and let him in. So yeah, that was fun times, but I wasn't a huge Beatles. So all that to say, I watched a little bit of Paul McCartney doing that live thing he did on YouTube from Grand Central Station in New York. It was interesting because all of a sudden he starts talking about a bullying song that he has. I think it's called FUHU. Is that it? Well, there were two girls there, the younger ladies that probably were born long after the last Paul McCartney hit ever hit the radio. Last song he ever had on the radio that was big. And this one young lady was, let's just say, wearing a very tight shirt, and she was quite busty, and it said FUHU on it, because that's, I guess, the name of a new Paul McCartney song. And I mentioned on a previous show that she was top heavy. Well, did I get the calls? And did I get the emails and the letters? The letters came in droves. They backed the trucks up to Cafe Anyway and dropped off all these letters of protest at Cafe Anyway, saying, how dare you refer to a woman as top heavy? How have you no shame? What are you on? How dare you, Mike? Is what they said. How dare you, Mike? And all I can say is it's not something, I don't mean it malicious. There are some women that just physically are quite large in that area. And for a guy, that's noticeable. Do I think women should go out and get breast implants? Hell no. I don't believe in that. I don't like the fact that women get stuff like that done. Sometimes they want to, and that's fine, whatever. If you want to do that, that's your prerogative. Go and do it. I don't want to be under the knife for anything cosmetic. As old and wrinkly as I get, I don't want to get anything done. If you see my face, as a Brandy Carlisle song is, you can read the lines, you can see what I've been through. You can get a sense when you meet me what I've seen, and that's cool. Because now I know, don't judge a book by its cover, and I understand if you are going to judge me by my cover, that says something about you. But at the same time, you get a sense of where I'm coming from when you first meet me. But then you will be pleasantly surprised, because then I'll start talking and you'll go, what the hell is this guy saying? Similar to what's happening right now. But oh Lord, that was a top heavy woman. Good God. And I think Paul McCartney enjoyed the fact that it was displaying the name of his song that also became a single that he released and had a video attached to it. The song did, but this woman was not in it. But the fact that the name of the song was right there on a very pronounced part of her chest probably didn't upset him at all. At any rate, that was a big part of the thing that happened on YouTube that nobody watched. I guess the big Paul McCartney fans watched it. And I read some of the comments on that Paul McCartney stream, because now you can comment as a YouTube video is going live, and people are those make no sense. Do they ever make sense? You see a quick glimpse. If you read that, it will so make you lose your faith in humanity, because people say the most awful, horrible things. And I know that's what celebrities go through all the time with their Instagrams and their Facebooks. People comment like crazy and say mean, terrible things, or advertise little bot things that they're into, that they're making money off of. It's terrible. The internet's a horrible, horrible place. That being said, I joined Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mike's Daily Podcast. I'm uploading the videos that are made out of the podcasts to that. You can also find those videos at youtube.com/Mike's Daily Podcast. Oh, actually, it's Twitch TV/Mike Podcast. Mike Podcast. I didn't say Mike's Daily Podcast. I wanted to keep it short. Not that any of you will go to Twitch today. I never had been on Twitch. I see that if I want to get bored watching a bunch of people playing games, that's what I'll do, is I'll go to Twitch. But now I've got a Twitch account. Woohoo! And apparently there's a lot of Doctor Who fans on there. So hello, Doctor Who fans that are somehow now connected to this podcast through Twitch. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're going to bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. One other Twitch.tv topic is Captain Marvel is a woman, and in the trailer I saw, she punched the crap out of some old lady's face in a subway car in New York, I guess. I don't know. What the hell? Is that what our superheroes have become? They get to punch old ladies in the face in New York City?
New York City!
I don't like that. It's not a good role model. I don't like it. But Mike, maybe the lady was an alien or an awful villain that was about to destroy the world. Whatever. It didn't look good. The optics weren't good. So I laid my head back on a pillow, went back to sleep. But then I was woken up by hearing Bob Woodward's talking. This is Bob Woodward. He talks very specifically when you hear him. Who is he? He's the author. He's the guy who went after Nixon, who uncovered Nixon's whole conspiracy. What if Nixon got away with that, by the way? We live in a world post where Nixon resigned, the only president ever to resign. And he was the one who, you know, he had the guys go in, G. Gordon Liddy and all those dudes went into the Democrat headquarters and Watergate and all that. Watergate is all. So it was Bob Woodward that uncovered that. And in the years since, he's all about looking into, he loves presidents and he loves looking into, that's his thing. And he's talked, he had like unlimited access to Obama, to George W. Bush. And so with Trump, you know, he called him. He tried getting an interview like 6 times, couldn't get an interview with Trump. Then Trump called him and complained, and Bob Woodward recorded, and he said, "Can I record this conversation?" And Trump's like, "Sure." And that got put on like different media outlets. And Trump's like, "Well, I really wish you would have talked to me, because now I want to say this about you."
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander.
But Bob Woodward said to Hugh Hewitt, a conservative talk show host, that he thought that there was no collusion. Yes, even Bob Woodward, who some would say leans liberal, did not find, he said there's no collusion. I couldn't find, with all the investigation I did with Trump, could not find any collusion. However, he attached to that the tag that was, "Hey, I didn't get to go to Russia. To do a real investigation on this, I would need to go to Russia. And if I did go to Russia, I would probably never leave, because Putin is quite powerful there.
President Putin was extremely strong and powerful.
And would probably keep me in Russia, because I'm Bob frickin' Woodward. And Bob probably hasn't said good things about Putin in the past, I would imagine. But yeah, they would, you know, he'd be in jail and he'd never leave. So that's why he's never been to Russia and never completely investigated the whole Trump collusion thing. But Mr. Hugh Hewitt, who will follow any conservative cause to the end of the earth, said, "Oh, okay, well, that means there's no collusion. Thanks for being on, Bob. Bye." Meanwhile, this from Relief Factor. Oh my God. How many, if you listen to conservative talk radio for any amount of time, you will hear someone say that. And now this from Relief Factor. Relief Factor, by the way, is basically stuff that you could get at the store, and it's basic. Like, your doctor will tell you, hey, if you want to help your joints, get glucosamine, get chondroitin. That they help with your joints. Well, that's what is in Relief Factor. And it's got some other stuff, I don't know, but it just says so much about conservative talk radio that that's their biggest advertiser, is like a pain medicine for aches and pains. And that's why I love conservative talk radio. Hey, thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Hey, go back to your pillow. Get off of my pillow. That's not Paul McCartney. That's Rolling Stones. But I hope you've enjoyed this show as I have. If you have not enjoyed it, well, F-U-H-U. And thank you. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com is where you can go to listen to all the past shows, see all the past podcast pictures. And Ariel will tell you more right now. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. Thank you so much for listening to episode 1722. 1722!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!